Hey friends, Amanda here, Bare Bones Living. Welcome back. Long time no see. But this time of year is super busy for me, and I just haven't had a chance to pick up anything to record. But I have been doing lots. We've had a lot going on with our breeding program that we have been doing between the turkeys and the different flocks of chickens and things like that. Plus, I was trying to get my garden set up, and it's the end of the school year and the end of Hunter's football. And it was just a crazy time. Plus, I had to plan Hunter's birthday party in there too. And so anyway, I wanted to give you guys a little bit of an update on my garden because I've been working like crazy in the garden, and it looks totally different to me. I'm totally happy with where it's at. And I've really just been busting my butt. So I wanted to give you guys a quick update. I'll try to make it quick. So first of all, I guess I'll show you what I did today, actually. It's a beautiful day to garden because I can't decide whether it wants to stay cloudy or sunny, but for the most part it's been cloudy. So I am totally happy to work out in the garden cloudy when it's cloudy, so I'll have some sort of relief. But this, you can actually see into my garden from the side. And it did look so much worse, very much like that, but maybe even thicker than that. And I have been meaning, I had originally given myself a border around the entire garden, but it got overcome with grass because I did not mulch it or plant anything in it really. And even where I did plant, like I had zinnias and I planted an echinacea here, but that got swallowed up by grass as well. So this has been my project on my to-do list for a while. And then I really had to get my onions situated, and I couldn't even see my onions because all you could see was these weeds that you see right there were covering all of that. You couldn't even see anything in my onion bed. So that took me 3 days. That's what I did on Mother's Day and the day before Mother's Day, and the day after. I weeded and put straw over all of my onions, and I'm really happy with what I saw because I couldn't really tell what I had growing in there. I could see the tips of some of them, but I think that a lot of them would have grown faster had they not had the competition of the weeds. But that's too late to, change that. So, but I'm really happy that I got this done. Now they have full access to all of the nutrients, all the sun. I already ran my irrigation long ago, so they'll get all the water that comes out of there. I do need to fertilize them. And I was afraid that I lost a lot of them, but I actually didn't. And they're springing back up, and I'm really happy about that. In these 2 rows right here, I planted some potatoes. And actually, if you look close, I got one coming up there. One coming up there. Ooh, I think I got one coming up right here. Cool. I just saw this. I got one coming up there. One coming up there. One coming up there. Ooh, I got another one coming up over there. I think I have another one coming up over here. So I'm really excited to see these start to come up. And I did, when I planted all of these 2 rows, there was an impending storm and there was a really nasty sky. And at one point Mike ran out and he's like, you might want to watch that. And I turned around and there was actually spiraling clouds. So I got these in just in time, and basically all I did was I got 2 different varieties. I don't even remember what they were, but that's all that my local farm stand had for seed potatoes. I think I got a red and a white. So I planted, I think, 6 or 7 of each, and then I covered them with the mushroom compost that I bought, and that was just a couple weeks ago. And then I also was able to come in here and plant in my tomatoes and my tomatillos. So in here I have lots of carrots that are just jamming, but I do also have some tomatillos tucked away in here. These are purple tomatillos. I decided to let this cherry tomato just go. I got my Blue Lake pole beans growing up in there. And then we harvested some chives. Over in this bed is the start of my tomatoes that I planted. I planted 3 black Brandywine, and then 3 Sun Golds here. I went and bought an oregano plant because I don't know how I didn't have oregano. And then over on this side, I did some Tommy Toe tomatoes and some Mexican midget tomatoes. And then again, I got the Blue Lake pole beans growing up there. That one didn't come up for whatever reason. And then along the back there, you can see those beans there. Those are the burgundy beans growing up there. And again, my rosemary isn't looking really any better. It's status quo, I suppose, which is sad. Over in this side, my parsley was out of control, so I tried to trim it back. And then I planted my pink ox hearts here and some Abe Lincolns here. And my sage is big and blooming, and the pollinators love it. Had some extra tomatoes here that I'm not really sure what I'm going to do with yet. Mint's going great, of course. Over in this side, I got cream sausage. These are my cream sausage tomatoes and my Amish paste tomatoes, 3 of those. And then this is a volunteer Malabar spinach that I'm just gonna let go. And I'm happy to see that there. And then here in my last raised bed, you can see my fennel is just gigantic. And I'm just letting it do its thing. I may have to trim it back though, because I think it's going to impede some of my tomato growth, and I'm not about to let that happen. But I got some Paul Robeson tomatoes here and some Dr. Weitch's tomatoes here. And then my thyme, of course, is doing real great. And then on this back side, I have carbon tomatoes and Kellogg's breakfast tomatoes with this beautiful nasturtium that I'm happy to see. The only one that came back apparently. Just opposite of my beds, well, you can see my chocolate mint is in there and that's doing great. And then this is the back of my garden fence. And then on the other side, you can see I have, these are yarrow plants. There's another one here that I planted last year that I started from seed. Even though little did I know, yarrow is like a weed here and it grows everywhere. It's all over in the back, and I'm going to be transplanting it into the garden beds up here. But I wanted to dig these out since I worked so hard to get them last year. And then in between those, I planted some canna bulbs that my grandma gave me, but I don't know if they're going to come through or not, because she gave them to me a while ago and I neglected to plant them immediately because I didn't have time to clear a space to plant them. So I'm hoping that something will pop up so that it will be not wasted. So I still have a lot of work to do. I have to, this area here that is not yet weeded, I'm going to weed this. That's my mushroom compost there. And I want to put my peppers in this area, on this back area. And then I have to weed that whole back corner there and this whole middle part here. So I still have lots and lots of work to do, but the friend that has the wood chip connection, they said that they didn't have any more wood chips and they weren't going to for a while. So I just have to be patient, I suppose, and wait until they bring some more, which is kind of a bummer, but I'm happy with what I got and I can't complain about that. So last year was our first year here, our first full year here on this land, and what I really focused on was establishing everything. I started this whole garden last year. It was all grass, and all I had was a front yard. So, you know, I'm happy with where my garden is now. I still have a lot of work to do. It's going to be a long time before it is like my dream garden, but I am so much happier with where my garden is now. And I'm happy to have these plants in. I'm so excited to start this garden season. I mean, I guess I had started my garden season a while ago when I planted those onions, but for some reason, starting the tomatoes really, like, it feels different for me. I don't know why, but it makes me very excited. I definitely do not suggest to anyone to do it this way. I mean, this is a lot of work. This has been a lot of work, and had I done everything that needed to be done from the get-go, I'm sure it would have been better for me, right? I don't know. I didn't have the time because I did this all with my own two hands. I built all the garden beds. I did all the things. I tilled the land. I literally did everything. And if I had the ability to do it all last year, that would have been awesome. But I already, as it was, I planted my garden last year. I had a garden last year that was very fruitful. But I still ended up with, you know, something that didn't even look like a garden anymore because it was so out of control. And I combated a lot of weeds, and it wasn't the glamorous garden that I wanted it to be. but it was fruitful. And this year, again, I'm trying to do the aesthetic thing and make it the way that will last year to year to year. I really wanted to do the wood chips last year, but I didn't have a connection last year. You know, it's so, you just gotta, for me, this was how it had to happen. And I know that I'm doing double the work, but that's just how my journey is going in this. And I just am doing the next best thing and the next available thing to me and trying to do it the best that I can. So this side of my garden over by the raised beds, I'm really happy with that. I'm not so happy with my border around my garden. I'm not so happy with the middle of my garden here. I'm really happy with my onion area over there, and I will get it all situated the way that I want and looking gorgeous eventually in due time. And I'm super excited. I just wanted again to show you guys real quick where I was at and know that I was busting my butt and working hard to get it done. And I thank you guys for coming by and checking it out and continuing to join me on our journey and what we're doing. So I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will catch you on the next one. Thank you guys for stopping by today and joining in on our journey here at Bare Bones Living. We'll catch you on the next one.